Hello, coaches. Welcome back to another Modern Soccer Coach Breakdown. Last week, we talked about the Aspire event. I mentioned that there was a session from Wilfried Nancy that I really enjoyed. We show so many sessions, we show so many exercises, so many breakdowns over the year, Modern Soccer Coach. This could be my favorite ever training exercise for two reasons. One, because the balance of build up and attack is so complex in session design that you often see it compartmentalized. This is a build up session, this is a finishing session. Wilfried uses both in this here, which brings me along nicely to my second point, which I loved about the exercise. I thought was genius and really a unique skill for a coach to master, and that is the ability to progress your sessions. Now, obviously, progression sessions is a big part. You're taught that in coach education, but how many training sessions are actually progressed where it looks like the game? A lot of it just becomes difficult. Hey, the progression is we'll make the spaces smaller, or hey, the progression is we'll play two touch, or we'll limit the player's creativity. Wilfred's progressions were the exact opposite. They added the challenge to the players, they added the complexity to the exercise, but they never took away what the game was about. So I'm going to show you that. The objective of the session was initially around progressing possession with the ball and looking for those spaces to play into with an attacking focus. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please make sure you like, please make sure you subscribe, and please check out Modern Soccer Coach Insider. Modern Soccer Coach Insider just started this summer. It's a platform that we have all our webinars available. All the content up there is uploaded every single week. So there's bonus content for all the members. There's tons of sessions. There's tons of ebooks. There's tons of webinars. But one of the most unique things about Modern Soccer Coach Insider is the WhatsApp group, the private WhatsApp group that I have for the coaches, where I share sessions and also take requests for training sessions and Modern Soccer Coach breakdowns, and we do some private work with the coaches as well. If you want to be part of it, I'll put the link below. Please check it out, Modern Soccer Coach Insider. Thanks so much for all the support. Here we go, Wilfried Nancy's session. Let's go. So the session started with an 8v8 +2 with the red team building and a red goalkeeper as well. So red team looking to build, use the two neutrals as a +2 overload and try and score in any of the four mini goals at the edge of the penalty box. If the blue team win the ball, they can transition or they can recirculate the ball with the help of the overload as well. So quick moving game, lots of options attacking ways for the red team to try and score in any of the four goals. Wilfred's role, of course, as a coach was restarting the game, coaching and communicating with the coaches who were watching. But what was interesting was the types of restarts that he had. He sometimes dropped the ball, he sometimes played to a transition team, and it just kept a fast moving game. This game was moving quite quickly. Plenty of transitions, plenty of challenges in and out of possession for both teams. And then the first progression, this is where it starts getting really interesting. So what he did here was he moved the two wide mini goals and got them facing inside. So now they're inside spaces, inside pockets. And what that does initially, it looks like, well, the final pass is at an angle. But really what I noticed was this little change obviously increases the size of the grid as well and actually challenges the supporting players, where a 4 goal game at the top is about passing and supporting into spaces, but not necessarily into players. So this one here, actually, this change moved the players to where same conditions, 8v8 +2, but now you've got the central spaces you can pass into, and then the half spaces, advanced areas, you can pass into there. So a little change, but it made a massive difference to the game. Of course, it still had an element of transition, a massive element of transition to the game, which added to the intensity of it, a little bit chaos there as well. This is a clip of it after he described the game to the players. You can see it's not a lot of spaces. The +2 overload is tough to find, and a lot of transitions naturally, rebuilds, goalkeepers. So again, a lot of actions in and out of possessions, a lot of transitions, high challenge. You can see now the goals start to come in, that you're looking for players to get in those spaces. Then you can see how he transitions. Again, different players. and just giving different experiences and different moments of the game. And this leads into the second and final progression, which I just thought was absolutely unbelievable. Here it is. Hello, coaches. We'll take a quick break here before I show you the third part of the exercise. I mentioned at the start of the video was around the Modern Soccer Coach Insider. Please check it out. If you enjoy the work of Modern Soccer Coach, we get quite a few emails or requests for breakdowns, and I love it. Please make sure you keep sending them, Gary at modernsoccercoach.com. But if you enjoy the work and you want a little bit more bonus content from it, please check out Modern Soccer Coach Insider. For only $10 a month, you get access to all the webinars we have on Modern Soccer Coach throughout the years. There are a ton of webinars, there's a ton of resources, there's weekly updates, bonus content, session plans, session resources, more webinars on there as well. But also we've got the private WhatsApp group, so you can get involved in the coach discussions, and you can request coaching topics to be covered for the breakdowns or for the members only content as well. So please check that out. Modern Soccer Coach Insider platform. I'll put the link below. Please check it out. Thanks for the support. Okay, here's the big progression. Wilfried did for the second final progression now was he added the goals at the end for the attacking team. So now they can play into those spaces. He actually moved the two central mini goals higher a little bit. So now they can play into the mini goals for a point, or they can play into the big goal, central goal. So now it gives a different picture for the attacking team. I'll come to the bottom of the picture in a second, but I want to talk to you about the first part of the progression. And what he's looking for now is obviously you don't get any points in football for playing into those spaces. It's about finishing. So eventually he works that finishing situation. Again, it's about advanced movement ahead of the ball, something that's quite difficult to replicate and communicate in traditional session design. And then the piece then on the transition, what he used the goals or the poles on the other end for was when the blue team won the ball. He wants to get a player ahead of the poles and a pass through the poles. And I remember thinking, oh, I really like this, but he's not done there. There also has to be, for a point, a supporting player underneath to receive the ball through the poles again. And then the blue team can recirculate possession. So what a challenge that is in transition, getting a player ahead of the ball, but then getting support underneath the player. And it made me think a lot about transition when you're looking at counter-attacking exercises. Yeah, you can have the goal there for the players, but sometimes it just communicates to one player to break out in transition. And in this exercise, I thought that was brilliant. What he did was he's looking for support underneath the player transitioning, which means lines have to push up, and then they actually then have to recirculate as well once they do that. So the pressures and the challenges in terms of spaces are just as strong and just as difficult for the defending team than they are for the attacking team. Again, something that you don't see quite often. So this was Wilfried then showing the players what he wanted in transition, and he's just talking through it. You can see always coached with a ball in his hand and a ball at his feet, and another just nice way to keep the flow of the session going. His stoppages were only about 30 seconds, 45 seconds on average. And this was a fairly complex progression. You can see then the field design as well. But it just added to so much in the game. Like I said, the challenges it gave and what it offered players in and out of possession in terms of the problems they had to solve. This was the defensive team recirculating the ball, which again you don't really see in traditional session design. So I thought there was a lot to the exercise. I hope you enjoy this. If you do, please check out the Modern Soccer Coach Insider. Please also give it a like and check out the review of the Aspire event as well that was on our last breakdown last week. Leave you with a final clip here of the challenges of the exercise. Transition team there in red, play through. And then Another moment of transition. And now, do they play into the mini goals? No. Greater challenge and try and score in the big goals. Brilliant exercise. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for all the support. See you next week.